Let me say something real quick, and then I do have something to say. But I ordered some products from Curl Mix, and then I watched Mo Knows Hair, MOKNOWSHAIR. She had a shop in New York. I don't know if that's where she's located right now, but she teaches natural hair and stuff like that, and it just gives you ideas. So I just washed my hair, but one thing I like, because usually it's like going to work all the time and rushing, I just throw shampoo in my hair and just and run. It's time to go, you know. The shampoo, the conditioner, sometimes I leave conditioner in, and I leave the house, especially with a ponytail, and it's still wet inside. And she explained that where the itching can come from, it's like bacteria buildup, right? And then the way she washes, she just don't go and you know, and it's all shampooed up. So you take every little piece and massage the shampoo or whatever you're using through the whole hair shaft or whatever. And many of you probably already know that. I didn't. And but watching her, I've been learning so much. And I'll probably order another line of products when I have some money from her. Like, you know, the other one, Curl Mix, comes in January, and I'll have that one, and then I'll have another line with Mo Knows Hair later, and just compare the two and how it does on my hair. But also for the men, the same thing. You know, you go through, touch each part of your hair and section it off, and take the time to rub your fingers through it, the shampoo through it, the conditioner through it, and then you know, start to find products for natural hair, stuff like that. Okay, that's that. When I said I go and it's breeding bacteria when I go when it's wet in the ponytail. So now I never use that round piece of the dryer. I always use the comb blow dryer whenever I blow dried it and flat pressed it straight. But it's a round piece that have a lot of little holes on it. And I'd be like, what is that? I don't know how to use that. So I learned how to use that, and you get up in there and you dry most of the scalp and stuff before you go, so it's not wet, and taking the products in that you put in, which is a breeding ground for bacteria, and that's where the itching comes in, you know. And I'm sure she have more videos on the itching in the scalp, and she, you know, talks about going to the doctor, find out what you have, psoriasis, dermatitis, you know, stuff like that. And she's very good to watch. Mo Knows Hair, MOKNOWS Hair. But anyway, let me cut the car on, and I'll be right back. I got something to say. Before I say what I want to try to get ready to say, I want to say this part first before I forget, is that where you get your news from, you know, just staying current and just figuring out what's going on. Sometimes you want to tap into that. And let me give you an example. I have my people I listen to that I have listened to for quite a few years. And, you know, some stuff I can't listen to depending on what it's about. But for the most part, I know they deal with truth, honesty, and facts, right? And so then, say, for example, I was watching somebody that talks about food, another person. I have quite a few people I watch that talk about food. And this person, you know, was talking about water and this and that. And then they got on the topic of I did a video about it. They was talking about the Muslims in New York right? And they gave two situations that was trying to make the Muslims look bad. And then as I looked further into it and did my own research, I was like, this person is trying to feed off of his political agenda and use fear and to get people excited, angry, rageful, and mad. And I was like, man, so now if I watch somebody new dealing with food and stuff like that, I already knew that, but I don't know why I thought I could, trust this one person. And so this is to say, do your research on those that don't take everything that everybody say as a truth, right? Or as facts. If it's something that you really, really care about, for example, like what you're putting in your body, what you're doing to your body, what's going into your mind, and how you want to think, what makes you feel good. In addition, do more research on it. So you'll say, okay, this aligns with me, my body, my mind, or whatever. And I just wanted to say that part, but wait a second, I got something else in a minute. Okay, I feel like I want to talk to and mainly direct my conversation to those that may feel comfortable. Okay, there's two reasons why I want to try to have this conversation. Is one, there was a young lady just crying on her video and saying how old people are so mean and nasty and hateful and jealous and things of that nature, right? And dealing in the workplace, you do, yes, I've seen it, and you do have those type of people. Now, when we start, if we notice, when we start, although it may be a majority that surrounds you, but when we start labeling people and not getting out to know that particular group from other people, say for example, you say all old people are nasty and jealous and hateful and vindictive and stuff like that. They don't want to teach you anything. They think you're stupid, blah, blah, blah. But there are old folks, because I'm about 80 years old, headed that way, and that can be different and that do teach and whatever, right? And then also these old folks that you call, they don't act right, they're very mean, they try to stand in your way from, they don't help you advance and things of that nature. It could be someone that you love dearly, and you do see it happening with your friends, family members, or friends, that have older people around them that are totally different, and you get upset and jealous, like, why don't I have that? So there's many different ways that can be thought about, but one of the main things is we get in a lot of trouble, I think. I can only share from my experience, when we start to label people, whether it be all young people, all old people, all black people, all white people, all fat people, all skinny people, all pretty people, all ugly people, all people with money, all people that don't have money, all people that are this political party, or all people that are that political party. So when we start labeling people and don't get out and get to know people, it becomes really hard. And then sometimes you might even label yourself and say, I'm an introvert, I can't stand being around people. But in the workplace, you kind of notice how when you come out of your introvert, depending on who you around, you might not want to label yourself as that, even though you feel that way most of the time, because even introverts come out of their introvert depending on who's around them, and that's something good to pay attention to. Also, what type of people get you to come out of your character, get you to feel so comfortable around them. And so I'm thinking I want to direct this to I want to share this, and it might get to somebody from my background. Now, I understand, because I have come from what we called back in the day was the ghetto, right? And as the world is changing, like the young lady crying on the video and stuff like that, and I've seen other stuff, it's hard, especially when people think they're better than you, especially when people cannot relate to you. They have no idea, right? And so I've lived in the ghetto. In New York, I lived right in the middle. As just go one way down the street is Bricktown, go the other way is Liberty Park. And then I lived in another part where 164 on the South Road, and way down that street is 40 Projects, but we lived on 164th Street. And so I've experienced a little bit, I was getting ready to say rats and roaches. But yeah, so I know I can understand, and I really understand it from another level, where being a retired military spouse for 30 years and coming into the civilian world, it was totally different from me. That's what I'm trying to say, is that's how I can relate to it, more than just being brought up and raised in the ghetto, right? I can relate to some of these feelings coming home into the civilian world after living on base, being around soldiers all the time, and civilians that had soldiers as their spouses, their children, as military brats, and coming into the world and trying to work a regular job, working temp until I get back in the federal system often, when we have PCS orders. That was very, very hard for me, because I felt as though civilians didn't quite get it. They didn't understand, and they were like, yuck, And so I'm getting that feeling, and I feel it now. And I think, and I agree with, somebody on independent media was talking about how you have the experience teach. I try to stay away from that, because it's like I don't have the PhDs, I don't have the master's degree or a bachelor's, but I can share from my experiences of where I have been. And so going forward, and you see how the world changing, and as young people, if you don't have supportive family, a lot of the women are catty. A lot of the women are still hung up into pointing the finger the way they point the finger. You better do this, you better do that, pull your pants up, don't wear your hair this way or that way, you need to talk this way or that way, you need not think about yourself as far as your dreams, what you dream about every night, and you don't talk to nobody about it because they won't understand it, and they just hound you about job, and then you get these jobs that you're not happy in. It's not something that you're dreaming about. But I just wanted to say, hang in there, because while you're working those jobs, you get online and you learn about finances. Everything that you do online don't have to be about, you know how to shake the booty, you know how to, do this and do that. But behind closed doors, don't be ashamed to learn about money. Don't be ashamed to learn about why is this family member acting this way or that way, so you can learn about all different types of behaviors and personalities. Don't be ashamed to say, and don't be scared to get into AI and say, this is what I'm thinking. Now, I don't want to own a business, or I do want to own a business. Tell me how to, continue to work my job. Tell me what steps I need to do, what things I need to do, until I can, while I'm working a regular job. And what jobs can I apply for where I can get paid today? They have one-day jobs where I don't have the name of it right now, and just Google, AI is the same as Google. I want to get paid right now today, regardless of what it's for, right? And then, what are the other temp jobs until I can get a permanent job and learn, how to do that way for myself, and what government benefits are available to me. Like if I'm low on food and stuff like that, don't be afraid. You don't have to, just broadcast it to the whole world. A lot of time, I think 211 has become bombarded, but 211 is a good place to start. It's in every city and state in the U.S. and ask, where are the food banks? Where can I get a cell phone? Where can I, in New York, they're giving out free coats for you and your children. If you're in New York, find out if they have that type of service in your area. You can't afford a good, nice, brand new coat. They're giving them out. They're giving it to people that need them in New York. Anything that you want, get into AI like you would get into Google. AI it. Find your favorite AI. There's many different AIs. I ask AI, IASK AI. Everybody knows about Chat GPT. Everybody talks about Chat GPT, but there's other ones also. I ask AI, Perplexity, PERPLEXITY. I don't know too much about Grammarly, but there's one as well. Go into your any of them and type, what are all your competitors, or what are all the AI sites I can go to? Which one mainly is the best for job searching? Which one is the main one for learning how to give resources for making money? Which one is the one that learned how to give resources when I don't have anything? I don't have any family to help me. Things of that nature. Which ones are going to help me get off of, stop drinking so much, or stop smoking weed or cocaine, or whatever, the drug of choice is, right? And because it's like blocking my process, my progress. Another thing I wanted to say, like, say for example, you go to the corner store and you like chicken wing fried rice, right? And then you may order, well, I want the beef and broccoli or whatever, and you don't know what the beef is. Somebody made a joke about you when you went back around, back on the block, and was like, ain't no more cats out there, just making all kinds of jokes. You don't know what you're eating, right? Is one thing. Try to, whenever you get money, is when you put food in your body, it's not just about fruits and vegetables. It's like, what fruits and vegetables are good or not good. You can go to PubMed, PUBMED.com, and type in the apple, what type of apple it is or whatever, or find out which ones are not hybrid and which ones are non-genetically modified, things of that nature. And learn how to wash them good, your baking soda, your vinegar, your lemon juice, or whatever that feels good to you. But if you when you eating out and you this and that or whatever, and you eat the way you want to eat, or that you can afford to eat, until you can get on your feet to do better, if that's what you want. And that's all I'm gonna say right now. But I felt to say something like that. Don't get mad at the people that don't look like you, that are owning the stores in your neighborhoods. Just ignore it, like, because you know one day if you wanted to own a candy store, a mom and pop, or a corner store, whatever kind of food you want to cook, it's going to happen. You know, long as you think it's going to happen, long as you know it's going to happen. But you know, baby steps. Just do something every single day, whether it's your music. Find ways, all different types of ways to do your music, all different types of ways to make your jokes, you know, stuff like that. It's going to come together. And then it's going to come together. All right. So what I wanted to say, take notice, like, I realize that, all right, so take notice how many videos I have done, right? And you would say, oh, you only have 600 and something followers. I want you to pay attention, especially to those that have a passion to do videos. And that's the key. You're young, experience come, and you've had experience also, you know, within your family, within the school, elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college. If you went to college, or if you didn't go to college, and if you didn't finish any of those grade schools, right? You still have experience your way, and you can tell it your way. And so if you don't get caught up into, for the longest time, I had 11 followers, and I was so happy. I had started with food. I was like, oh, 11 people following me. I really was. I was really happy. So I do this for me, and then coming out of, you know, certain types of relationships where you're told to don't talk, shut up, you know, and then you were only taught to listen to other people, but when it's time for you to talk, you know, you're shut down. You're like, you know, people are like, they don't want to hear what the hell you have to say. And so this is such a joy for me to do this. It doesn't bother me. And then also, so if you really have that desire to do it, but you keep looking at the numbers, who's following me, or if I got to make a comment on somebody's post to get a subscriber, or I got to do something really silly to get subscribers, that is more or less, we have to look into our personalities. What type of personalities do we have? Am I a look at me, and always getting someone to performing to get someone to look at you in real life, and it's you know, it makes you feel bad when you can't get the attention that you need, right? So then it falls into, you know, your business and how you're doing and operating as a person within the work area, and you know, making your videos, or starting your business, or something like that. That personality, observing that personality can be very hard. So once you learn how to navigate through that type of personality, or you only speak when you're doing good, and you put other people down so that they can't notice your flaws, just noticing things about yourself is going to help with you know, when you start doing videos and you don't have to worry about numbers and who's following you and stuff like that. And that's when what you post about, it makes you feel good, and it can go anyway. You know what I'm saying? You can be way better than somebody else, or it just takes its time, but it don't matter to you because you're doing what you love. I think that's it. All right, since we're on the topic of video making and stuff like that, remember I mentioned about having 11 subscribers for a long time when I first started YouTube a few years ago, talking about food. Somebody teased me, and they was like, "You still doing that?" And I don't know, they mentioned something about to try to make me feel embarrassed about having 11 subscribers, and they have no idea how good I felt about having 11 subscribers and being able to talk through my camera and talk about food at that time. It just made me happy. So going forward after that, I stayed away from people that know me, family, friends, anybody that know me would not know that I had a YouTube channel after those 11 people. So it depends on your personality, what type of family you have, what type of coworkers you have, what type of content you're doing. How do you feel? What makes you feel comfortable? It made me feel comfortable to not let a soul know what I was doing, and that's okay, as long as you feel good about doing what you're doing, because a lot of times you're going to get heat from people online by the way you look, by the way you dress, by the way you talk, things of that nature. But if it make you feel good to put up a video, regardless of what you do, but it felt good to you, you're gonna get some flack. And it's best to learn how to deal with the flack that come from other people, whether you want to block them, whether you want to keep them, and learn from their comments and learn how to respond to their comments that make you feel good about yourself. It's all up to you. You know what's inside of you and how you gonna feel good. That's it. I just had to share that part.